Ladies and gentlemen, Yankees Fireside Chat.
Yankees Fireside Chat. Season 3, I think. What are we, Season 3?
Yes, sir. Season
Episode
3.
7?
Correct.
All right. As you can see, we got video for the first time. We're going to try this out. You know, not any extra. We're going to today debate some pitchers. We were doing our best of the past 25 years series. Kind of, we went over the infielders, the outfielders. We're doing pitching. I guess we're just doing starters. I mean, best closers, Rivera. We clearly know that. Like I said, we got video. You got Poot over there. We got the Devil and the Gent coming up. But we got Jute, who you look like a butt pirate. What's going on?
You know, I knew that you were going to say that. You just can't give me creds when it's due. You know, I just look great. And if you just tell me that I look great, we can just move on in a normal way. But, of course, you got to go in your little ways and stir the pot, Moot, because then I'm sure Poot's going to say something ridiculous in about 2 seconds to offend me.
You
So go ahead.
kind of look like Adam Sandler in a way, and from Uncut Gems, with the facial hair and the glasses.
I've never seen that movie, but I gotta celebrate something. I gotta celebrate something before we get started off with the 5 pitchers, because the both of you hams, okay, took it to me last time when you guys said that you would, quote unquote, think Arby's is better than Olive Garden. You know I was gonna go there. Twitter universe has spoken, and guess what? They go with Jute, 55%. The OG reigns strong over Arby's. Now, how can you dig that, sucker?
Why do you look like such a fruity cuck, though?
See, I knew it. It was just a matter of time before he had to say something. I don't know. I like to dress up. I like to make myself look right for the first time doing the video.
Here, and this is how you dress stuff.
You know, I'm just looking at my new Tampa roots, Gasparilla roots. I figure I'd dress up as Jute the Pirate going forward when we do videos. I just think it fits my ambiance, my grandeur.
Is it kind of like Mardi Gras, where like there's ladies flashing in the streets, or no?
No, they don't do the ladies flashing, but it's with the floats down in York City. However, this year Jerry Springer was there. It's kind of funny. It's kind of shocking, but yeah, they go. They have this parade. There's a night parade and a day parade. The day parade is for like those that like to just college kids getting drunk. You know, all that crazy stuff. They have this day drinking. It starts at 2:00. It ends at 5. They have this big pirate ship that comes in on the bay. Everyone's drunk, throwing beads and whatever. But no, they just throw the beads. The night parade I like a little bit more. It goes to Ybor City, kind of New Orleans-like facade. And then they're just throwing. I mean, it's a lot of. It's really weird because they're like crews. It's like the crew of Santiago, the crew of the Italian crew, the Cuban crew, and they're all like these older ladies that got everything hanging out, and these older guys that are clearly drunk throwing beads. Like, it's not like a younger crowd, it's a lot like the older crowd. A lot of these crews you have to like pay a membership fee to be a part of, and it's just crazy. But it's a good time. I enjoy going down.
Poot, any comments on that?
No, I mean, just taken back by the whole attire. I wasn't expecting that today.
You know, it's my new look, and I'm rocking my favorite jersey. You know, definitely got to go with.
Ooh, you got the name on the back. Yankees Twitter will not be.
I know, but this is
what a fake front running.
I got this jersey.
What a fake front running cuck.
I got this jersey 19 years ago. Okay, when I was 11 years old. Okay, and I still have it. I actually lit my hair on fire.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I lit my hair on fire. You can see there's like these little holes in them. One time on Denise McKenna's house at 4th of July, I lit my hair on fire on accident and lit my jersey on fire. But let's actually get into the show and talk about these top 5 starting pitchers of.
Maybe give a disclaimer: don't play with fireworks, Jude.
Oh, you're probably right. You shouldn't be playing with fireworks.
Don't show your chest where you burned French toast onto it either.
And got ran over by a bike. My chest has taken a lot of abuse in my years. Ran into softball fences too and got harpooned. Do you remember that? Caught that foul ball.
Ripped the shirt.
Anyway, let's get into this. So as I mentioned, we did the infielders, we did the outfielders. Listen to the last 2 episodes. Let's get into the pitching staff. So we're going to go over starting pitchers, last 25. Who do you want? And I think it's easy to name the best 25 pitchers the Yankees have had, or the best 5, but I think also kind of what I think we're going for here is the 5 best that's like playoff time. Who do you want? So maybe we'll kind of debate, do you want someone who's clutch? Do you want someone like, Severino? Severino's been great during the regular season, hasn't had the postseason numbers. Or do you take someone who's maybe a little bit lesser? So with that said, how do you want to do this? We want to go 5 at a time, or just kind of like name?
Well, I think there has to be some that are just non-negotiables.
Let's build the roster together, starting with where Jute was going.
I think we all have to come. If we're thinking about last 25 years, I think there may be 1 or 2 players that would be consistent in all of our lists. I think one having to be Andy Pettitte.
Yeah, that's who I would have on mine. Andy Pettitte, I think you have to have. So many big games. You saw in 2009 alone, he won every clinching game. You look at him in the postseason, he was always clutch. Pettitte, so consistent during the regular season, borderline Hall of Fame candidate. I think he's probably my favorite pitcher of all time to kind of watch. I think because of the fact he wasn't dominant, very, almost like rocked you to sleep. The lefty aspect of it, pitching so long for the Yankees. So I think Pettitte's definitely got to be on that list.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you here. We all know about the Pettitte stare. I used to look at you, kind of above his mitt like this if this was a mitt. But I tend to have to agree with you. There was no guy that you wanted on the mound for the Yankees besides Andy Pettitte. I know when he came back and for that run in 2009, he was not as great as he used to be when he was younger, but like you said, borderline Hall of Famer, someone that you can always trust. On a note, me and Moot went to a game in August. I brought my nephew. He fell asleep on my lap in the bleachers. It was a hot August day, and that was the day that he broke his ankle. Do you remember that?
Yeah, against Cleveland, ball right off his ankle. That was after he came back in 2012. But I feel like those years, that's the thing. I was number 1. He would have been the Yankees' all-time leader in wins had he not left for Houston, which I think that was the Yankees' biggest mistake during those, those years when they were getting knocked out in the first round was they didn't bring back Pettitte.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2, I think that, Pettitte, so he would have been the all-time win leader, and I think it definitely stunk during the, 2012 year he came back. He got hurt. 2011 they missed him. But Pettitte was, I thought, just so consistent. Just a model of it. That's the thing, he wasn't dominant. Nobody would ever sit there. 96 was probably his best year at 21-8, but he was just very consistent. I don't know, is he a Hall of Famer? Probably not, but I still think in big games, postseason ERA, I'm going to pull that up in a second.
I think he has one of the most wins in the postseason too, right? Wasn't it 19 in the last game? So I think there's a shot. I don't see why there should. Maybe one of those guys that gets in on his last ballot. But if you put his credentials up against any pitcher that's probably in there, the guy's won how many rings? 5 or 5 rings, has 19 postseason wins, and was part of a dynasty team, probably the best pitcher on that dynasty team. I can't see a reason why you wouldn't put him in. Maybe because some of his other stats may not come close, because he's not a guy that's going to strike out a lot of people. But look at his. I don't know if people look at his ground balls, the percentage, and all those grounding into a double plays. This guy was good. This guy was a reliable pitcher for a long time. So he could get into the Hall of Fame. I think he could. It could be one of those, because it could be one of those like Todd Walker. Not Todd Walker. Come on,
Larry
Walker. Sorry, Larry Walker things where it's on the last year and you surprises people. You never know.
Who?
What do you want from me? A pitcher?
Andy Pettitte. What do you think about Andy Pettitte?
Do you have any thoughts on Pettitte? Do you agree or disagree?
I like Pettitte a lot. I didn't like when he left New York. It happens though. Sometimes you go to Texas.
Yeah. Dude, what about pitcher? So we did Pettitte. We all agreed on that. Who would be the next guy?
I think you got to go with the Moose.
I'm with you.
That's another good one. I agree.
Classic 90s into the early 2000s Yankee.
And I think his best year had to be his last year when he won 19 games. Wasn't 19 games?
20. That was his first
20.
time he won 20.
First time 20 games. He had that. He almost had the no hitter in Boston, of course. But I mean,
No
Mussina
one.
was a rock for the Yankees for a long time.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Mussina, he came. I always felt bad for him because he was sandwiched in between the 2000 championship, 2009 championship. Just didn't work out. But he was someone that they paid a lot of money to. I don't have the exact contract, but he was $100 million or so, or I think it was definitely up there. Great contract though. You look at his first 3 years, he gave the Yankees 200 innings. Every year he'd had one bad year in 2007, but other than that, I feel like Mussina was so consistent, very reliable. I think that almost he got overlooked a lot because of the fact that, he was on those teams. We kind of talk about them. I wouldn't complain about them, but it's like from 04 when they
were
lost
bad.
the Red
Let's be
Sox
real. They were bad.
to 08. They won close to 100 games. How can you say they were bad?
Because the expectations were set low. I mean, think of it. They got eliminated in 01. Obviously, they were in the World Series. 02, the Angels knocked them out. 03, they were in the World Series and lost. 04, you know what happened in 04. 05, I'm pretty sure that was the Tigers' year, correct? 05, Angels again. I get those mixed up, the Angels and the Tigers, because 06 and 07. I mean, come on. I mean, in 08, they didn't even make the postseason. So this is one of those guys similar to Jason Giambi that was just playing on the team in the wrong era, But look, you were right. 17 wins, 18 wins, 17 wins. I can't think of a pitcher today that has 17, 18, 17. Many of them. I don't know. I can't think of that. Maybe Justin Verlander or Garrett Cole, but 17 wins, 18 wins, 17 wins, 20 win at his last season. This guy, he's a Hall of Famer. He was just elected to the Hall of Fame, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah, just last year. Halladay, they made it. Yeah, it was honestly, Mussina I always thought was very overlooked here with the Yankees. Kind of weird to say, but I think that a lot of times people forgot about, because he didn't win a championship, how good he was. But Mussina was great. I think he wasn't the most attractive. There are guys that I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit later who, they were aces and they were guys that, they had the name value. But there were times look at those pitching stats too. I mean, from that time when he was with them, outside of after 03, you had guys like Javier Vasquez and Randy Johnson, Garrett Wright, Carl Pavano, exactly.
Well, no,
puke in your mouth.
Kidding. Terrible. I agree with you. So the postseason stats aren't as fantastic as Pettit. You're looking at a 7-8 record with a 3.42 ERA. However,
Which was a lower ERA than Pettit in the postseason.
Yeah.
Just didn't get the wins.
Yeah, remember, those years were tough. I remember those playoff series against the Angels that they didn't do well against, and then, of course, the Tigers that they didn't do well against, and then, obviously, the 03 and the 01 World Series where they couldn't get the job done. But Mussina, you're right. He doesn't get a lot of credit. When you say best Yankee pitcher, you're not thinking Mike Mussina. You may think Andy Pettit. Some of you may even think Roger Clemens, but you just don't think of the name Mike Mussina right off the bat. But I 100% agree with the both of you with Mike Mussina.
Good.
On to the next one. I would say, what about this? CC Sabathia.
Hey,
that's who I would say.
Yeah, there's no other choice here. The thing about this is you start to see the decline in the numbers after the first 3 or 4 years. The guy won 19 games, 21 games, 19 games, 15, and then after that, it was a slow descent into the abyss for CC Sabathia. However, you got to look at it. This guy was the ace of our rotation for pretty much until Luis Severino emerged into existence. CC was paid a lot of money, came in 09, got the job done. If they didn't win that World Series, I don't know if I would have listed him here, but the guy was a rock. You know what he's done from Cleveland and Milwaukee and all that before that. When he came to the Yankees, it was almost like a rock of someone that you could rely on because the other guys weren't as good.
I think CC I want to say he's underappreciated because I think Yankee fans definitely love him. But during that time, during that stretch, you look at from 09 to 2012, And if you want to, 2013 he wasn't great, but he threw 200 innings. So every year he was 200 innings, ERA in the low threes. The highest being 3.38, the lowest being 3 exactly. All-star each year, won 19 games, 21 games, 19, 15, and 14. As you mentioned, 2014 and 15, he had injuries, he had the alcohol issue, but after that, 2017, I think you almost, not say it's overlooked, but he was 14-5, 3.69 ERA, and that was a guy who reinvented himself. CC always thanked Pettit, who actually, of course, we mentioned earlier, for teaching him the cutter, kind of teaching him really how to be a pitcher, and not just someone who had a good slider and a nasty fastball, because by that point he lost it. But CC, to me, I felt like early on he was reliable, gave you all those innings, and I think especially now, look at it. Towards the end he was breaking down, but you look at it, I think he was the MVP of the 2009 ALCS. When he went 2-0 with a 1.13 ERA. CC, I think to me he's a Hall of Famer. He should make it, but we'll see, I guess, in a few years. But I think CC's definitely got to be on this list.
His postseason stats aren't too appetizing though. 10-8 with over a 4 ERA.
If you do look at them, and if you're on Baseball Reference right now, look at from the Yankees on, because while he did have some clunkers in there, he was bad before. When he was with the Indians, that was the thing. Everyone almost questioned, if he could win in New York. If you remember when they got him in 2009, they were saying, could he handle the pressure? Because before that, he was pretty rough in the postseason.
And I think in Milwaukee, he just kind of ran out of gas towards the end. They were pitching him like every 3 days because they didn't have anybody else. Remember, he was just pitching, and then eventually just broken down. The one thing I think I question about CC is that I wish he got us to one more. Because in 2009, was it him or was it Pettit or was it A-Rod? Or was it Matsui and Damon who put it together, at the end? So, was it really on his back? Did he really truly earn that World Series? I feel like we have...
Yeah, I do. He had a 3.29 ERA. I think that, while he wasn't somebody who... I think, of course, baseball is such a collective effort. I still think that CC had a big part of that. I think that, look at him in the ALCS. Did they get past the Angels without him?
Yeah, I agree with you, because there was 2 games where he pitched well there. And I'll tell you one thing about CC. You don't want to mess with him. The Rays tried to do that, and he would have just beat down all the single one of the Tampa Bay Rays. So, I agree, though. I agree. I think those 3 for sure, Mussina, Pettit, and CC. But I think now we can start getting things a little cloudy here and there.
Yeah, I agree. So, I don't know who wants to be the one. Because I think the 4 and 5, just like a normal baseball rotation where those 4 and 5 spots a lot get, moved around, I think now it's kind of like, who do you go with? So, I'm going to say, we got Mussina, we got Pettit, we got CC. So, Pooh's going to say David Cohn?
I would put Cohn up there.
But remember, it's last 25 years, not into the 90s, right?
Well, yeah, 25 years ago was the 90s.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, 95. Sorry, you're right. Sorry.
I think those beads are weighing down your head.
Shut up, Moose.
I think Cohn should be up there. I think this is where it's going to be interesting, because I think we agree on those 3. After that, I think maybe the final 2 spots, maybe we could each say, who we would pick for those spots.
All right.
David Cohn was pretty solid.
Cohn and Wells. There you go. Suck my dick. Suck a poop dick.
Yeah, but you're going to justify? You just say David Cohn and David...
What do I need to justify? What do I need to justify? Do you know Yankees baseball, Drew? Doesn't look
2
like
guys who threw perfect games. Poot's bringing up a good point. Listen, I think you can definitely debate them. First of all, David Wells, shout out to him on Twitter. He talks to us a lot. But I think, Cohn is definitely up there. He won 20 games for the Yankees, an All-Star in 97 and 99, threw a perfect game. Won a World Series each year. I think that's a solid pick.
What about you, Moo? Who do you say is your 2?
All right, so my final 2, it was tough because there's a lot of guys I think you can go with, not necessarily ring-wise, but just they're good pitchers. You got Ching-Ming Wang. He was an honorable mention. Damn that fucking Houston, again, running the bases. But my final 2, I'm going clutch. I need postseason, that pedigree. I'm going to say Masahiro Tanaka. I don't care that
Wow.
elbow.
Wow.
In the postseason.
I think that's out of the box crazy. Wow. Okay.
Crazy. I think Tanaka doesn't get enough love.
All right, Tanaka, go ahead.
And then my second one, you'd probably say wow if it wasn't for him. Orlando Hernandez.
I think
love
so.
Del Duque.
man. Go ahead, Moot. Say it, because I got it right in front of me, too.
Oh, well, you can't just say El Duque. You have to back it up. Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, all right. No, I mean, listen, El Duque, first of all, I'll say about Tanaka. Tanaka, you saw those, he's had some good years. He's kind of struggled to pass, like 2 of the last 3, but him in the postseason, money. Right now, that's what I'm concerned about. Drew talks about, you got to go based on these guys' postseason stats. Tanaka, 5-3, 1.76 ERA. That is nasty.
Tanaka, wow, in the postseason, 1.76? That's pretty,
yeah. And then we're going to go to another guy who's nasty in the postseason, Orlando Hernandez. I think he was just a fun guy, like, that funky leg kick we kind of talked about on Twitter. At the Yankees, he was, I thought, really consistent. I know that his career ERA overall is a 4.13, but with the Yankees, a 3.96. I think that he was fun. He burst onto the scene, but postseason, you needed to win a big game. There's Orlando, 9-3 with a 2.55 ERA. I feel like that's kind of even including some, towards the end with the White Sox. He did have a clunker there, but like overall, I feel like El Duque was a guy who I wanted on the mound. I will say, till I die, that 2004 would have been different if he was on the mound. If he had never over Kevin Brown or shitbag Javi Vasquez.
We have to. Sometimes we should reverse this list. Another episode of the
worst
people the worst because Javier Vasquez and Kevin Brown would definitely be on that list. Okay, so we have one that is similar. I think El Duque is that one. Postseason, won championships in 99, 98, 2000, close in 2001, and in 04, should have been there. But we'll. I mean, it is what it is. But I agree with you. The guy was fun. The guy had a persona, a stigma when he was in New York as the Duke. El Duque. People knew him, and people enjoyed watching him. Now this next one, you almost convinced me with Tanaka because he's just another one of those guys that's just so
nails in the postseason.
I know, but it's just he's so undervalued. He's so undervalued, and it's gonna, this was his last year on his contract, correct?
Who, Tanaka?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanaka, this is his last year.
So I don't know what happens, but I may get a lot of flack for this, but I'm saying the Rocket, Roger
Clemens.
I mean, you're looking at someone from on the Yankees since he was in 96, 95. The guy won 20 games in 98, was on 3 ring teams.
Wait, Clemens?
Yeah, wasn't he?
Clemens came to them in 99.
Am I misreading this then? Then why is Baseball Reference wrong?
Baseball Reference is dead. He was with Toronto.
They said in 95 was he traded to the Yankees.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm
Definitely
looking at
not 95.
Yeah, it was 99. Well, they traded him for Wells.
Then this must be wrong.
Well, maybe you should know stuff outside of Baseball Reference.
On it.
Yeah.
You know what happened? I'm sorry. Baseball Reference is a fraud. I'm sorry. It's my eyeballs that are frauding me right now. But going back to what I was saying, I still choose Roger Clemens. I apologize. He came over in 99. Okay. Obviously has the 2 championships that were won with them in 99 and 2000. But it was a guy that I know that people went to the stadium to watch, Clemens. Now, obviously, looking back at it, is someone who was on Boston for pretty much most of his career, which I didn't realize. But going back to what I was saying, I'm thinking Roger Clemens. I'm going to go down to his postseason stats with pitching.
Okay, you picked Roger Clemens. You don't even know anything about him.
I messed up my shit. Shut up, dude. I messed it up. Forget it about it. I don't care. You know what? Moot, you convinced me with Tanaka. And here's my thing with Tanaka. Getting to actually watch him pitch. No!
He's a flippy floppy.
Listen, let me explain to you. I was going with Clemens until I realized that Tanaka had been on
realized I didn't know anything about it.
It's a clown. Don't even listen to him. You're wrong. Now listen.
Fraud cuck.
I was
Okay,
gonna go
you
with
convinced
Clemens.
me on
You're
Tanaka.
the fraud cuck pirate. There you go, G. You wanted to be a pirate, you're a pirate.
I like being a pirate, you
I
know?
don't want to be a pirate.
Exactly.
I wanted to be a pirate. Look, the guy won 20 games in 01, but in reality, though, Tanaka...
Wait, so now you're going back to Clemens?
No, I just had to put my little nugget in there for Clemens. But the thing is this. You blew my mind with the Tanaka stat. I didn't realize that his ERA was under 2 in the playoffs. When did Tanaka come here? I want to say, was it 2014-ish?
Yeah, 2014. He was nasty in 2014.
I mean, he's consistently being overlooked. Like, oh, Tanaka, he's not really an ace, but he's always solid. I mean, because he has those games in the summer where he gives up 3 home runs and gets blown out, people like to forget about him. And the guy is a lock. I think that 2017 was a great opportunity to see him pitch really well in the playoffs. Obviously, 2018, you know what happened, and this current year what happened. But I'm going to change it. I don't think Roger Clemens anymore. I'll go with you, the master, the Masahiro Tanaka. Poot, you can shut up because I know you're here's a flip-flop. Blah, blah, blah.
Juice a flippy floppy.
Yeah.
Flipping, flopping. All right. I mean, I think that there's some guys in there. I mean, Clemens definitely probably could get like an honorable mention. I think there's some guys, I wouldn't put them in there, but I think that you could argue that there are some, we missed some guys I
don't know. You can't. I mean, Randy. Like, who did we really miss? Jin-Ming Wong was great with the 2 19-win seasons, and Randy Johnson. I mean, came over in the twilight of his career. Severino, I don't know. It's just like what some of these like new guys that come.
Yeah, I don't think he has the pedigree yet.
No, we did that poll about the right fielders, and after Paul O'Neill, who would be the next great, the best right fielder in the 25 years, and Bobby Abreu and Sheffield didn't even make it close. All these new Yankee fans thinking it's Aaron Judge, and the guy hasn't because he hit 50 home runs one year and won a Rookie of the Year. He's the best right fielder. And
speaking of jackass young fans, did you see the poll out today? I forget who it was. It had like 300 votes. It was who would you not re-sign, and the four options. It was like Judge, Torres, DJ, and I can't remember the last one, but DJ had 34% of the vote.
Wait, what was it? Who would you not re-sign?
Yeah, who wouldn't you re-sign?
Well, it's a silly question because obviously they wouldn't let any of those guys walk. One, I know people. You start offending Aaron Judge, and then people have an opinion, but then when you open your mouth, do something wrong. I
don't get it.
I don't know. It's a lot of the new age Yankee fans that just because he hit 50 home runs, that's acceptable. Whereas we come from a time where the only thing that was acceptable was winning a championship. And now it's like, oh, well, he won the home run derby. Yay, he's the best player in the world. Nah. Yeah.
So, actually, we had said this, I think, the day after. So I put that poll up, and you were very, you guys, whoa, that was a gnarly bear Poot.
Tell him what you got Poot today, Moot.
Yeah, I got Poot a surprise. Went into Brooklyn. Sorry not to end my story there, but went into Brooklyn, got Poot some Rollin' Roaster. He smoked that grass. I'm sure it tasted delicious. Got him banana pudding from Little Cupcake Shop. I think Little Cupcake Bake Shop. It's in Bay Ridge. For those of you, definitely check it out. Delicious.
Oh, yeah.
But, Jude, I feel like, I don't know, you're not a big Aaron Judge guy. Like most Yankee fans, I mean, I think even myself, I think I respect Aaron Judge. I like Aaron Judge. I enjoy watching him play. Like, I feel like you don't really credit him.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why. Let me just start out by saying this. If I had a situation where we needed to win the game, Aaron Judge would not be on my list to pit. Okay? The person that I would have up, I would probably Johnny Damon, DJ LeMahieu, Hideki Matsui, Alex Rodriguez. These are all guys that I would put above Aaron Judge.
Interesting, because A-Rod before 2009 would have never been on that list.
No, but the thing is that he did it. Look, Judge, is he a gifted player? Yes, 100%. Gifted player, but the guy struggles in the clutch. Listen to me. I know before I'm going to get assaulted
I'm
on this.
listening.
I'm going to get assaulted. The guy was porous in 2018 in the playoffs, right, against the Red Sox. Couldn't get a hit.
What are you talking about?
Are we talking about SpongeBob now?
He wasn't terrible. He had 2 home runs, Jude. He was good
He doesn't
that
get the job
postseason.
done. He didn't get the job done. Okay.
He had 375.
Are you gonna let me talk, or are you just gonna continue to interrupt me? No,
Maybe
listen. Are you gonna let me?
Because you just shout nonsense. You are the original fake news.
They look good, and I'm glad. I look like fake news. Okay. Now listen. Okay.
Jude Bayless over here.
Shut up. Aaron Judge is not the guy you want up in a situation when the game is on the line. I'm just telling you that straight up. What has he done, Moot? Then let you answer this. I'll put it back on you. What has he done to gain your confidence that he's going to do it? Tell me what. Is it the outside ball that he waves over like Alfonso Soriano? Is that what's going to get it done? No. Go ahead. Tell me.
He had an MVP. He should have won the MVP in 2017. Now, here's the thing. You want to argue about injuries? All right, that's one thing. But Aaron Judge, every year, look, he has 27 home runs the last 2 years, basically played in, 105 games during that time. Judge, and then in the postseason, he has 8 home runs in 27 games, or 101 at-bats. I mean, I think that the way you're
So what? So what? Okay? 2017, we lost.
What is it, his fault?
Control. 2018, we lost. Okay? 2019, guess what, Moot? We lost. So go ahead. He could have hit 500 with 10 home runs, 20 home runs. If you don't get the job done, then you're just not good enough for me. And I'm sorry. Because every person named on that list has gotten the job done minus DJ LeMayo.
Okay. All right. Here's going to be my question for you. So let's see. Big spot. I'm going to go down the roster. Poot, if you want, you can partake. But
Poot's having a hard time over there. He wants a brawl.
Oh, please. You're freaking out over there like Frank Fleming just dropped the Hot Pocket. Chill the fuck out, Jude.
Who would you rather? Would you rather Gary Sanchez or Aaron Judge up in a big spot?
Oh, that's easy.
I'd say Gary Sanchez.
Wow.
Better hitter.
You're
better
hitter
than Aaron Judge. Listen! You don't want to listen to me. Better hitter. Gary Sanchez.
He is not a better hitter. Aaron Judge is a much better hitter.
Okay, go ahead. Next question. Who would I rather up? Go ahead.
Luke Voigt or Aaron Judge?
Luke Voigt.
Aaron Judge. Wow.
Oh,
you're a little cuck. He's lying. He had to think about it.
That's no, because
I think we'll all agree. Probably DJ, we might rather the fact that he's gonna get the bat on the
100%.
ball. Gio or Shella?
Okay, now wait a second here. Gio? Yeah.
Jude's gonna ask good Gio or bad Gio?
I'm taking Gio Urshela over Aaron Judge.
Oh my God!
Lineup over Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge has not done anything to deserve my trust. What has he done besides?
Hold on. Brett Gardner or Aaron Judge?
I go Gardner. I go Gardy Party.
I
would out for Gina Big Titty.
I hate both of them.
He has a 196 average in 61 games in the postseason.
No, I would take Aaron Judge in that game.
Finally.
That's like a third of his
I would take
Aaron Hicks or Judge.
Judge, because Aaron Hicks bothers me.
Stanton or Judge?
Judge. I hate Stanton. You know that.
But here's the problem.
Wow, Jude, you're an Aaron Judge fan after all.
Do you notice the trend, though? Do you notice the trend? We're asking, like, well, who do you rather to get the big hit? The problem with this, and the whole big picture with this team now is they never get the big hit when they need it. Okay? Look, yeah, in a random game in July when it's 95 degrees out and the garbage is smelling in the Bronx, and you know what? Does Aaron Judge come up with the base hit against the Baltimore Orioles? Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, great. But when it's October and you need the big hit against the Houston Astros, nobody came through.
What are your thoughts about Aaron Judge 2017 Game 4. He had a big hit during that 8th inning. Don't believe into it? What about 2018 wild card game? First inning, two-run homer.
It was the
Don't buy into that?
The Oakland A's haven't even made the playoffs. One, but go ahead.
2018 homered off David Price. Basically broke the man. That doesn't count, I guess, apparently. So, I mean, you pick and choose. The fact you'd rather Voit and Sanchez and Urshela up over Judge, you're a ding-dong brain.
You're like the Donald Trump of the Aaron Judge crew. You just don't want to hear what the normal person
No, the thing is, that's the difference. You are, because you spout nonsense. You are
This guy is supposed to be our captain, and he hasn't got it done. The guy hurt his wrist. Now, that wasn't his problem. I get it. But look, this is a Yankee team that has this stigma, and you could tell me that I'm wrong, I'm spouting nonsense, I'm Fox News, whatever you want to tell me, okay? Listen, this Yankee team, if they do not win something in the next 2 or 3 years, will go down as the Yankee era. Listen to me when I'm talking to you, Moot.
I am listening.
You're not listening to me.
I'm trying to find out where Devil and the Gent are.
Dinky phone. Listen. Seriously, though, if the Yankees go 3 years without winning a title, this 6-year span will be the biggest disappointment in Yankee history of all time. You don't agree?
What, not winning with the current group? I will probably agree. I think it would be a huge disappointment.
From last 3 years, set 2017 ALCS Game 7. 2018 lost to a Red Sox team that wasn't nearly as good as your team. I don't care, Chris.
Stop. The Red Sox were better.
Oh my God, Chris.
They won 108 games.
You just can't agree with me. I don't understand.
Now you think the 2018 Yankees were better than the Red Sox that year?
I still think that we could have had a chance against them.
I think you drank too much.
Look, the teams that the Yankees had the last 3 years, 2017, 2018, and 2019. All teams capable of winning a World Series, and they didn't. Okay? This is turning into the years of 2010, 2011, 2012.
Do you think Roger Clemens is on those teams?
You're a little ass tune. That's what you are. Now listen. No, and in all seriousness, but look, the reason why we were okay with 2010, 2011, 2012, maybe 2013 is because we won in 09, right? Think about this. 98, 99, 2000, right? You went from 2000 to 2009, 9 years without a World Series. Were people upset they're starting to? I mean, kind of, but they won 4 there. We're getting to a point in time where the Yankees haven't won in, 10 years. And they have a great opportunity. They have one of the best roster in baseball. You can't tell me that this lineup is not at the same level or could be better than the 09 or some of the 90s lineups.
Oh, I think that's definitely, stat-wise better.
Turkey.
So, I mean...
Penny Alavaca.
What are you talking about, Penny Alavaca?
Shut up, Jude! I'm placing my fucking dinner order. Back off.
Look, you know what, Pooh? You both are over there in New York. You don't want to acknowledge that I'm right. But I do bring up some good points. I may be a little exotic. Shout out to Joe Exotic, the Tiger Killer. No, geez. And Carol Baskin, I think, did kill her husband. That's besides another point. We'll have a Tiger King episode. But, I do bring up some solid points of this team, despite this year. Now, I know they went out and got Garrett Cole, so I really do think that if they don't win something in the next 3 years, this team is in trouble of being the biggest disappointment. You got guys like Sanchez and Judge, Glaber, DJ, Luke Voigt. Man, you keep going, and Severino. Just think about the injuries and just the botch. We're almost turning into the New York Mets.
Could you elaborate on that?
Am I boring you, Poot?
No! I want to know how we're turning into the New York Mets.
Think about it. All the injuries, man, and they're just botching it. Severino. I don't have to go into that. The guy was clearly hurt a long time ago. Let's just...
There's a major difference between the Yankees and the Mets. The Yankees still look good. The Yankees. Look, you listen to me when I'm talking to you. You Jude cuck.
Yeah. Suddenly, then he's on his phone.
Exactly.
All he wants to do is hear himself talk. He just rants for 2 minutes.
No, you don't understand. I bring up good points, but you knuckleheads over there just think I'm wrong, and it's all I'm offended.
And I'm telling you why you're wrong on this one, because the Yankees win games, they win big games, they don't fuck up late in games. The Mets are choke artists. They'll be winning into the 8th, 9th, and then just fall the fuck apart. That doesn't happen to the Yankees. Rarely does that happen to the Yankees.
I'm just upset. I'm sick. I'm not over last year. I'm really not. I'm not over it. I'm not. I'm sorry. I don't like
Rona taking even more time to get into it. Unbelievable.
Well, tell me this, Moon. Are you going to give 2 shits about a fucking game in June? If this was a regular season, the Yankees are playing the Rockies in June and they blow them out 10-0. Oh, let's lose my shit. Let's go out and party. Get the fuck out of here. It only matters about October, and that's it. Look, we can go on. We can win 40 games in a row. I don't give a shit. Okay, they could put in Gio Urshela and he could pitch a perfect game. Great, let me lose my shit. No, it only matters about October, and this team has failed in the last 3 years. Okay.
I agree with that. I think at the same time, if you can't find fun during the course of a baseball season, you probably are not going to enjoy baseball. If you can't, that's the thing. I mean, maybe it's getting people get on me about, but like, I think that yes, the goal is to win the World Series every year, but at the same time, I think that if you can't enjoy a good game in July, you can't enjoy a big winning streak in August, or some epic game in April, you probably shouldn't be a fan, because the chance of you winning the World Series, listen, the Yankees have the most. They've won basically 20% of the time of all World Series played. That's a decent amount, but otherwise, you're probably not going to be happy because you're going to end the season most times in a failure. It's just the odds. You look like a degenerate gambler right now. With that getup.
Look. The Yankee season follows these trends. Okay, in April they play 500, then all of a sudden in May they find their stride. They go on a run for May and June, right? Then in July hits, and then all of a sudden they forget how to hit for a little bit, right? Then all of a sudden in August and September they right the ship at about 500. And that's the Yankee season. Has that not been the Yankee season the last 3 or 4 years?
It has been, and I don't know why. A decade. It feels like a decade. It's been like that.
It's been like that all the time. It's the most predictable thing. They'll be 500 in April, May, and June. They'll go on 20-game winning streak or 20-1. They'll get there, and then July hits, and then boom, they forget how to hit. Their pitchers forget how to pitch. We don't know. Then it'll go on and off. August to September, they're 500. And then, boom, that's it. That's the Yankee season. They wind up between 95 and 100 wins. That's it.
That's it. I think that's kind of like this episode. I mean, I think you wanted to talk about wrestling. Do we want to add that here at the end?
Yeah, let's do it before we get out of here.
Yeah, that tweet really riled the Jude up today. He really was.
Why? Because...
hold on. Before we get into it, we need to let the people know. Not everyone's in the group chat, Jude. So calm down, but there was someone on Twitter, Robertson John 4, and he said, many will disagree, but fuck it. He said, I prefer the Ruthless Aggression WWE era, which is 2002 to 2008, over the Attitude Era of the late 90s.
Well, time out. Let's stop. Stop. But let's break this down a little bit more for those who don't understand wrestling. The Ruthless Aggression era was built on a few things. One, it started with the brand split, right? Raw versus SmackDown, right? They started doing the draft, and then ECW had a sideshow. It was a complete failure, by the way. Let's not get into that. So they drafted Raw and SmackDown. The wrestling, they say, was better, which, you know what? I actually may give that to them. There were some really good matches that went on in those time frames. I mean, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle, Jericho, HBK, they all had fantastic matches, which I can go on, The Rock. But realistically, what was it about that Ruthless Aggression era that made it so important? I bet you that guy couldn't even name one storyline from there.
And not even that. Those wrestlers were around. It wasn't like that was the new talent of the time.
Exactly.
They've been around.
The only person that came up was John Cena. Okay, and then I guess Brock Lesnar started then, but they wouldn't have been Right. They wouldn't have been as good if it wasn't for those other guys that have been there before that. Now, you look at the Attitude Era, you're looking at guys that wrestled well, plus the storylines that just grabbed you. I mean, the only two storylines I had to drop was the Vince McMahon Stone Cold storyline, and then anything with Degeneration X. And that's it.
Rock.
The conversation's over. I didn't even mention The Rock, right? Or Undertaker.
Big Foley.
Foley. Look, Taker and
Nation of
Foley.
Domination.
Let me tell you, that Kane gets shit on a lot, but the stuff that he was doing with Undertaker and Austin was great. It's silly because people who don't understand the Attitude Era and they don't understand why people think that was so important is because they don't understand the wrestlers that were actually wrestling during that time. And you can't just look at what was going on in WWF. You got to look at what's going on in WCW too. I mean, you had Sting and NWO and the Monday Night Wars. That's a whole nother storyline that was going on during the Attitude Era. So I don't see any clear comparison between the two at all. But I mean, the guy has an avatar of Drew McIntyre holding a belt, so really, let's his opinion shouldn't really matter.
Whew.
Ooh, you can
Harsh
believe
word.
that. Damn.
Belief.
Believe.
All right, so we wrapping up this episode on the pitchers. We kind of complete our pitchers and our outfielders and our infielders, and you want me to do the
25 years. Wrap it up, Jute. That's it. We're done.
All right, for
Take it away.
Yankees Fireside Chat. This episode, we took a look at the starting pitchers, even though Jute said has had some holes. He was looking at the wrong person's baseball reference while he was talking. What an idiot I am. But Moot, Poot, and I broke down who we thought would be the best 5 starting rotation of the last 25 years, and definitely Roger Clemens is not part of that, so it's my fault. Adds to the list of the infielders and the outfielders that we thought of. We talked about some wrestling here and there. But for YFC, for this great Sunday afternoon, see ya.
Yankees Fireside Chat here. Season 3, Episode 7. Interview, big time guest, one half of the Devil in the Gent, the Devil himself. Devil, thank you for joining us today.
As always, it is a pleasure. Yankees Fireside Chat. Of course, the pleasure's all yours.
Pleasurable times. Not really. What have you been doing during this quarantine? How have you been keeping sanity, Devil?
Well, I'll tell you what. I take walks. I take longer walks. I figure out which one of my neighbors that I don't want to kill on a given walk. All right, I've categorized my neighbors into different types at this point. There's just the ones the really ones I really like because they don't bother me. They're just busy working in their yard or whatever, and they just keep their head down, just completely ignore me, and they're the coolest neighbors I got. Then I got these neighbors that these guys that they're just want to acknowledge you, but that's all they want to do, and they wake up and say, hey. Yeah, usually they're the ones with headphones on or Bluetooth too. Sometimes I wear my headphones and I'm not even listening to music. I just fake like I am, so I have to put up with these assholes. Because that brings me to the third and scariest category of neighbor I got. And these are the jabronis that want to talk all the time. You know what I'm saying?
My God.
He's one of them. The
Not
one who
me.
interrupted you.
No, he's not. I'm propping you guys, man. Everybody knows. I think it's all important that we relate to this third scary person. These people that actually have to say. They usually peg you with something like, I don't know, hey, you got a minute?
Oh, John the Landscaper. Horrible. Horrible.
Or maybe, hey, can I ask you a question? Oh, hell no, you can't. No, you can't ask me a question. It's Corona. Usually I run away like I'm scared I'm going to catch it. I'm like, Corona. Like a little bitch, but I just get out of there. Get my boxer dog. I'm usually walking him. I just yank him along. So anyway, that's the kind of nonsense that I've been up to, just trying to kill time doing that. And, I play a little bit of golf when I can, but that's even kind of weird. So it's a strange time.
Gambling fix?
Oh,
Alfred?
boy. I'll tell you what. Who do you think's got it the worst, you guys, out of everybody? The athletes, the fans, or the bookies?
Well, are there still things you can bet on? I don't know. Have they been
The weather.
Yeah, that's the big thing. People are betting on the weather. Your thoughts on it?
I've heard some. Look, as y'all know, certainly I'm not afraid of morbid stuff, but I heard there was underground betting, like the total numbers of people that are going to die and pass
It's
away. with
crazy.
these. So I
Crazy.
mean, it's just even that's a little. Even
I believe it.
Oh, even for derelict central trio that you three paint chip eating bastards are, and as absolute degenerate as I am, that's not cool business to even bring that up. In all seriousness, this is a big time deal, and I don't mean to make light of it, because I had a couple people after a podcast I did that really reached out to me and said they were really glad I did not make fun of coronavirus just because of the severity of it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
Have you guys had any blowback either way on that? I mean, I know we're all entertainers and we're trying to put out a good product and have fun, but at the same time, some shit like this comes and it's like, man, you don't want to cross any emotional wires with people.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I actually didn't even tell these guys about it, but my brother-in-law, who works for the FDNY, actually had the COVID-19. And it was kind of scary because my sister is pregnant, so they actually both had it, and it passed through them without hurting my future niece. So it's kind of scary when you hear stuff like that when it hits home.
Crazy, yeah.
Like that. So I'm lucky that they were able to pass it that way. But you know what? I mean, I know there's some others that, unfortunately, like I said, like you said, passed away or have someone know that really got sick because of it. But it's crazy. I'm just kind of wondering the sports world here.
Yeah.
When is it going to come out? When is it coming back?
What do you guys think is gonna happen? Curious your takes as far as what are they gonna come out? That bullshit in Arizona, I just can't believe that. That just doesn't sound right to me. I'm just saying, for baseball, I don't know about baseball, and I don't even know about college football. I'm thinking I heard the most sense that I heard was college football will play conference schedules only. That actually, to me, made some degree of sense, because football's not like everything. I mean, other sports need a pre-training, but football, those bands really need the pre-training.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, if you can't give those kids in college football a good solid 4 to 6 weeks to get themselves in shape, hit everything else, they're not going to be a season. So you got that. Baseball, we want baseball to get back, but I'm just thinking the immense stadiums and all the traveling and the way they're all over the place. And I mean, they say we're going to open up the economy. By the way, what the hell is going to open up the economy? They got a switch for that? You keep saying, open it. I'm so tired of hearing that. Let's turn the economy on like it's a damn spigot or something.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it has to do with someone. I don't know. There are so many ins and outs of it. I'm not going to get into the politics side of it, but I agree with you. I don't know about. I mean, I think the NBA and the NHL, I think they just lie. That's it. I think they're done.
Yeah, I think empty stadiums. I think they're gonna go empty arena, empty stadium, empty arena. There's way too much money to be lost by that.
But when? When do they start that? Is that June? Is it July? And if you get to August, is it worth it?
About.
Well, I say it's worth it. How much money they're losing, I don't know, because you figure if it's empty, they don't need any concession stands. They're only talking about 10% of the workforce you'd have on the payroll, right? So there are, and parking and everything else. There are some things with playing empty stadiums that would save some money in that regard. And let's face it, there are some teams that doing where they make money, the TV revenues anyway. They ain't making money on the gate.
Right.
So that's
I don't know.
possible.
And then, I mean, but when does it happen? Are you looking at June now? I mean, are you looking at July? Are the players going to have to be tested to make sure that they don't have the virus before they can play? Like, there's so many different things that and then the traveling too, like you said, are they only going to play teams inside their division? Are they going to even play in their home place? Are they going to play in places that don't have a larger number of there's so many different questions, that go along with this. It's crazy.
And I think baseball is going to be hard pressed. If they're already talking about, once you heard the talking heads started saying about, I don't know, several weeks ago, well, I hope there's football. That kind of, to me, also, you might as well have been listening in another language translation. Baseball's fucked. It ain't coming back.
Yeah, I don't know. It's that, and then I hope football, man. I can't live without football. Baseball, I guess because we haven't had it in so long. There's something about football that would make me sick. I don't think there'll be college football. I don't think college is going to even go back in the fall. There's just way too many bodies in one place. I don't know. But football, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think it really depends on when it comes to the the testing and stuff. You need the testing, but I'm not really an expert. So, Dev, I wanted to get your opinion on this. So, obviously, there's no sports to be watched. What's your opinion on watching old games? I feel like that's what networks are showing. Are you someone who likes to relive them? I know Jute down there, he's shaking his head already. I'll watch some, but I feel like it's tough.
I'm with you. I've tried.
Yeah.
No, I got to agree with Jukebox Hero. I can't get into it, man. I mean, I tried. I tried like watching the Yankee game where Guidry struck out. What was like 20 that one year, 1970, Louisiana Lightning bringing it, and my dad was at the game that day. So for nostalgic purposes, I'm trying to watch it, and you know all it's doing, it's making me say to myself, how the hell did I listen to Phil Rizzuto all those years and still love the guy? Oh my God. Oh, the scooter. But yeah, no, the old Channel 11 and the old graphics. And I spent about an inning just catching up with feeling, good feeling, warm memories of past. But that faded. I quickly got it. Like I said, I agree with Jute that it was like I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, this is boring. Okay, I'm enamored of the stirrups with the socks and all the throwback stuff. Great, but now
it's fun for the culture to watch, like the culture of the 70s or the 80s and stuff, the 90s of our childhood. But like after that, I feel like to invest 3 hours into watching a game, the results, what's going to happen. I can go on YouTube and just watch a highlight.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was, what was it on last night? It was the Seahawks Patriots. They were playing it from like 4 years ago, and I literally watched 2 minutes of it, the opening drive, and I'm like, I already know what happens. It's not exciting. Like I tried to, but it's like the whole point of watching a game is not knowing what's going to happen and knowing what's going to happen. It's like
that's. You know what? That's why people got packed garages, attics, and damn storage units right now, because we all saved every damn VCR tape of every boyhood football, baseball, and basketball game we thought we'd watch 50 times over. The truth is, you start watching the second time, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I'm like, I had no mode. I'm just like, I'm not going to watch it. Forget it. I know Seattle wins. It came down to the last play, and that's it. Move on. Go to the next thing. I don't know. And then the documentaries I'm okay with. If they were to roll out documentaries about something, I would sit and watch that, but I'm not watching a 3-hour game.
Have you watched The Last Dance?
No.
No, you're a Lakers guy.
No, I did not. I didn't even know about it until something put it on my radar screen that it was on, and I'm like, okay, I have to go back and check that out. Was it good?
I think it was last night, right?
Yeah.
There was 2 of them last night. I watched the first one. It's great.
Okay.
It's great. It's gonna be.
Is it on tonight?
No, it was on last night.
No, but it's every Sunday. Is that what it is?
Yeah, every Sunday on ESPN.
All right, I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm not a basketball fan, but I'll watch anything with Michael. I mean, that's what it was in the '90s, right?
Yeah.
Everybody was a Bulls fan.
A lot of people in Detroit might argue with you a little bit.
Well, but everybody else was a Bulls fan.
A lot of people in Gotham City there in New York might argue with you a little bit.
But I mean, let's be real. Michael Jordan was Michael Jordan. I
know that, but the Knicks had Patrick Ewing, Starks, and were there in a championship and facing them. That would be like some punk 20 years from now saying to you, oh, well, everybody was a Manny Ramirez fan and a 04 Red Sox fan, right?
No. I don't think Jute knows who he's messing with right now.
Look, this is taking me back to the Aaron Judge thing again. Here we go. We got to celebrate everybody if they almost make it. I don't want to get into this argument again.
Jute is a fraud. He used to own a Johnny Damon Red Sox shirt. Poot, back me up on that.
Totally true, 100%. We might have lied about the... what was it, the Ty Wigington jersey? Yeah. This is real. This is true.
Come on. I mean, it was one thing. Y'all told me that Jute used to have, he was born with like a tail that they had to cut off. That was one thing. But that other thought about the Red Sox jersey, that's horrible. I can't even bear the thought of that, Jute.
I had a Johnny Damon shirt from the Red Sox. It was bad. I don't know why. But
when he played for the Yankees at least?
It was before that. It was before that. It was like I was telegraphing myself. But wait,
back to sold him.
Isn't that a terrible thing? Like, I don't know. This guy's on a Yankees podcast. He had owned a Johnny Damon Red Sox shirt. Damon killed the Yankees in 04 in Game 7. And he'd wear that shirt.
And then what happened in 06? And what happened in 06 is we signed him. Now look. I'm gonna get a lot of heat coming out for this episode because before we talked about Aaron Judge, Devil, and just about how he's great. He hit 50 home runs. Oh yeah, he's great. He was the rookie of the year. Oh yeah, great. He's so great. I'm not sold. I'm just not sold on the guy, and I don't know what it is. It's because maybe he hasn't got it done. And I know people like on Twitter universe, Yankee Twitter universe, are just obsessed with Aaron Judge. I'm gonna take a lot of heat for this.
I have a one word only for your hesitation to back Judge. Longevity. He hadn't done it long enough.
That's what it is. I mean, think about it. It's almost comparable to the Knicks. I know, kind of. I'm not I don't know back what was going on with the Knicks, but they didn't beat the Bulls, did they?
The Knicks?
What does that have to do with Aaron Judge?
Listen, can you listen to me? Listen to me. I'm
I
making
know
a
it's
comparison.
What
I
does that
can't.
have to do?
Oh man, his wife put the wrong damn mushrooms on his cheeseburger today.
Yeah,
That's what
well,
happened.
Look, if Judge continuously goes to championship series and loses and loses and loses, should he be as celebrated as someone who's gone there and won it multiple times? No.
No, but that is really like the first world fan problems of a Yankee fan.
Moot said the same thing to me yesterday.
Damn
Jude
right.
wants it all.
I mean, I mean, that's the Yankees. Yeah, the Yankees. Their expectation is to win it every year, and if you're with a studded team, but it comes down to the arms, man. That's what I mean. I mean, Aaron Judge is going to get outmatched by the top 10 pitchers in the game. He's going to face 7 or 8 of those pitchers in the playoffs and World Series, just like any other great hitter. No other guy's hitting that. It shows, and that's why. Well, let's go. It all goes back to number 2 somehow, doesn't it? That's why Jeter was just incredible, potent his 320 postseason batting average against the best pitchers at the hardest times.
I mean, yeah, you're facing Pedro. I mean, see how many times he had to face Pedro Martinez and the guy was lights out. I mean, equivalent. You could say that Pedro back then was equivalent to what Garrett Cole is now, or even better. So Jeter was doing it against guys that were top of the line shelf starters.
Yeah, you know what Garrett Cole does not have that Pedro had that I wish he had, which is really cool. Pedro brought around like this little best friend midget guy he had. He had a midget friend in the locker room. And would bring that little midget all the celebrations. He would get just wasted ass drunk and everything else. So,
I don't think he'd do that in 2020 anymore.
I don't know. I love Pedro Martinez. I know because he just brought this.
Oh, dear God.
He loves Johnny Damon. He loves
David Ortiz,
Pedro.
Tim.
I like the drama, dude. I like the drama about facing Pedro and facing David Ortiz. It is almost like it, Listen, every time Pedro pitched, do you remember the time that he came back to the Yankees and they played him when he was with the Phillies? He literally said it. That Yankees fan love me because they hate me so much, and it's the truth.
I gotta go along with that. I mean, definitely that was just characters. It was a rivalry, and there were characters involved. And any fan that's got an IQ, higher than 46 on a good day, right? I mean, Poot, I know you're definitely you got 48 locked in, so that's why I went with 46. Nah, you're over the Mendoza line, I think. So anybody with a high IQ is realizing that the rivalries are based on fun, and they're based on these characters, and they're based on this love and hate. Villain hero that each team represents. Certainly, that's what makes it a lot of fun. Which is it. We're losing that, man. That's what I'm saying. We don't have any of that. We don't have any camaraderie. What are we going to focus on without sports?
Yes, and I agree. I mean, even if there was sports, it's just the fighting between the Red Sox and the Yankees early 2000s or before the Yankees before the Red Sox beat them in 04. Those are games that everybody watched, and I made this point the other day. Everybody watched these games. Not even your casual. You're just a casual baseball fan. Like, oh shoot, I need to watch the Yankees and the Red Sox because Pedro's pitching or A-Rod and David Ortiz. Now it's just kind of like I wish that type of mentality was back.
There, during the Tyler Austin brawl, but I feel like since then they haven't really been. The Yankees have been good. The Red Sox didn't make the playoffs last year. 2018, I think the Red Sox were the better team, but since then it's I feel like it's almost there, but there needs to be some more bad blood. Nowadays players they're too friendly. I mean, look at Devil.
They're friendly and they jump around from team to team.
Yeah, look at those 80s basketball, in the NBA. They used to hate each other.
Yeah, now they're patting on each other's asses.
They're all on
getting middle and end of the game,
stuff.
man. Yeah, I mean I know. So yeah, you got that going on, and You know what, though? I'm thinking while you're saying that, Moot, if we go a year without baseball, that might people are going to hear this first. A year without baseball could very well be the best thing for baseball.
Why so?
Oh, because of the
Think about how
Astros?
amped up, jacked up, and how we'll all be salivating at the mouth for it to come back and start just regular opening day, normal season next year, as opposed to some half-ass, half-rig, half-scheduled, half, is it the strike shortened season that no one gives a damn about? There's an asterisk next to everything that happens. As opposed to that, imagine just, I know going a year would be painful, but it would kind of like being, those monks that go without sex for like a year. Now, I know most of them join the monastery and they never do.
You're
Some
used
of
to
them.
that.
Shut up, Mood. Now, I agree with you.
They do
But-
it by choice, though, mate. Moot.
Yeah.
They do it by choice.
I felt like there was bad blood brewing between the Astros and the Yankees that could have brought
Yes.
that back. I really do. I think that was Astros would have been on every national game that they could possibly put it on. I thought that the storyline was there. Like, you have the bad guys, you have Altuve, you have Springer, you have Correa. There they are.
Yeah.
And
This
it
is
was
helping
there.
them get off easy. Some people are gonna forget. It's gonna, time
You know
will pass.
what?
People just be happy to have baseball back.
I got an idea, because Jukebox Hero, I know that you're like the wrestling aficionado. Okay,
A little
True.
bit.
So, and if baseball ain't coming back, imagine if we could capitalize and have like pay-per-view, and we could have different like battle royal matches, like Aaron Judge and Brett Gardner would be one hell of a tag team against any two jabronis that Houston wants to put out there. Imagine that in a pay-per-view event.
That would be kind of
I'd watch.
interesting. That'd be
I'd
kind of funny.
pay.
But
I'd
the
pay.
problem is Vince McMahon is so stupid nowadays that he doesn't know what the right from wrong is.
Well,
But,
that's
I
why
mean,
we got to do it.
straining
I'm giving it
oblique.
to you guys. You get it going up there.
You
in the
gotta
Big
be
Apple.
careful though, because Aaron Judge, he may, like Moot says, he may get hurt right away, especially if you use him and
He'll
Stan.
swing.
Him and
I'll hurt his
Stan.
shoulder.
That's true, man. That's true. Oh,
Let
no.
me tell you,
Don't put
Go
Tim
ahead.
Carlos Stanton
Oh.
in there.
dude. Let's get mind blown here. This guy hit almost 60 home runs with the freaking Marlins. Comes to us and he can't even stay healthy. He was literally hitting home runs out of a ballpark that nobody went to.
Yeah,
Big ballpark, too.
I know. But you know what? Goes back to your word, longevity, man. He didn't do it for that long. What did he do it for 3 or 4 years? Isn't
Yeah, I
like
mean-
the guy that did it for 8 to 10, right?
Yeah,
Right,
small
and then-
sample size.
And then the
yeah.
first time, like, any pressure that he starts to get, it's like, oh no, I'm crumbling. I mean, playing every day in Miami is not even close. That's like the least amount of pressure versus playing every day in New York City.
And injuries happen, man. I mean, that's why give the benefit of the doubt. Injuries. Hey, Ellsbury, okay?
Stole money.
Stole
That's
my,
the worst. That's the worst.
Is it the worst or is it the smartest thing? I mean, he got paid so much money, and the first time I feel a twinge in my hamstring or a twinge in my side, I'm injured. I can't play. The guy sits there and collects money. How great is that?
I forgot. Jukebox Hero is the one that values making a lot of goddamn money being a Padre over playing for the Yankees worth it.
Oh, here we
So
go.
I forgot.
Here we go. Listen, the Wilt and Diet Club is gaining more members. We've been identifying people that who just went to the Wilt and Diet Club before it even was a thing. Who did we say was last time?
Robinson Cano, you
Robinson
said?
Cano, man, got paid. I mean, he got paid. Don't get me wrong. He got paid what, $275 to go to Seattle?
240.
Probably $240. The worst decision that he's ever made because he became
Yes.
irrelevant.
Madison
Became irrelevant.
Bumgarner.
Well, the thing was Bumgarner. I mean, who
You
wants
put
to
him
go
in.
play-
You
who
put him
wants
in.
to? I said possibly. I didn't say did, because who would want to go play in Arizona? But then again, he has multiple rings. The guy's done it before.
And it's a little different if you're a pitcher. Because
I tend to agree with
Individual accolades do play a little more if you're a pitcher. I would say that.
Yeah, but I can't put Bumgarner in there if you guys won 3 rings.
No, it's true. Someone who bailed without rings.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think, like, last year, I want to know how many times Manny Machado played on Sunday Night Baseball or Fox Game of the Week, or when the Padres were featured on any type of national game. Moot, do we know that?
We could look it up we'll put it on the Twitter, maybe include it on the episode.
But hey, you know what? He's living life with his money, but he's not going to be like a legend that he could have became. I'm just saying, that's all my thing. That's all it is. You have an opportunity to become on the same level as Derek Jeter or Manny Ramirez.
Whoa, Manny Machado on the
I said-
same level with Derek Jeter
I said he had an
or Manny
opportunity.
Ramirez.
I said an opportunity. I didn't say it was going to happen because
Well,
when
hey,
Stanton came,
at least you covered your two favorite teams, the Yankees and Red Sox, and represented them both. Okay.
Yeah. Look,
Uh,
Stanton had the opportunity. He has it on the gold plate. Like, what is Stanton gonna be remembered for? Am I gonna remember when I'm 85 years old? Yeah, the guy hit 60 home runs with the Marlins. No, I remember he's a
No.
fucking failure with the Yankees.
I'm right now. All I'm thinking of is he looks good as a bench coach, and I'm gonna think of in the postseason limping down the first base line on his little squivers he hit. Oh, got like an infield hit.
He was missing sliders by at least 6 inches.
All right, you want a comparison? I'll give you an exact comparison. Period. We don't go any further. It's Alex Rodriguez in the postseason.
Oof. But then A-Rod made up for it in 09.
No, because he won one ring, of which he was the guy. He was the guy in 09 hitting squibbers down the line and drawing walks. That was his biggest offensive firepower. So no, he
in the playoffs though he did. He hit the home run off the camera, the 2-out double against Lidge. So there were. I mean, the home run against,
you know what he did? A-Rod, to your point, A-Rod made sure that Yankee fans can remember him fondly.
Right, that's it.
He did enough for that.
Yeah, because there were times in 08. Remember, he was batting 8th in 2006 in the playoffs. I mean, there were times where he was fucking putrid, but at least you remember. Oh shit, 09, he did something well. So I have to agree with you on that. What's wrong with you?
Just talked so much. Poot left the screen.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, is this normal? Poot got up.
Poot said, "I had enough."
He did. You know what? You know what that is? That's addition by subtraction right there.
That's right. Oh. Listen. Well, I guess we're just gonna wrap it up because Poot's hungry. I'll wrap it up. Episode
he
7.
Seriously fucking bailed.
Tell
him I am gonna put a fireball.
You gotta go after him, Devil. You gotta go after him. He can't handle it. If you go after him and I go after him, and then Moot will just sit there on the sideline with the little
listen,
flag.
Man, the love child of Dusty Rhodes and Jack Black's character from Tropic Thunder. All right,
that was good.
Himself.
I like that.
I'm coming after his.
That was a good one. Go after. All right, for episode 7, Devil, it's always a pleasure to have you on with us. But for Jute and Moot and Devil, Poot is gone eating his man meat. All right, we will see you later. Hopefully we have some baseball, football. At least the NFL draft is this week. At least I'll have something to watch. But for YFC, see ya.
Out of time. Bye-bye.